The high country of the New England Tablelands has never been more unforgiving. This start to winter is the coldest that Australia has seen in 10 years. Frost blankets the ground every morning, and just yesterday snow fell a mere 12 kilometres from our humble shed. The granite-covered hills are shrouded in heavy mist, and the temperature has plummeted to -4 degrees. Living off-grid means that every day is a new challenge. Inside, the warmth of our fire keeps us going. I find solace in cooking, for it's hard to muster the motivation to step outside. Today I'm preparing potato bake, using up some of our stored potatoes. And as I slice the potatoes and onions, our dog Truffles sleeps contentedly by the fire. She's a model of good behaviour when she's asleep, a contrast to her usual energetic self when awake. Her gentle snoring, a soothing soundtrack to my work. Tomorrow we might venture to Mount McKenzie to see if we can catch a glimpse of the snow. It's just a small adventure, about 20-minute drive, that'll offer a break from our daily routine. Snow is a rare treat in these parts, and the whole town has been talking eagerly since they saw the first flurries a few days ago. And although it's got down to -4 degrees so far this winter, the winter before or the one before, I can't remember which, it had got down to -6 around this area, so I'm assuming it's going to get colder still. I blend mascarpone cheese and a bit of cream, which is so decadent, and I'm adding some sliced green onions to the mix while the bacon bits and onions sizzle in the pan. I parboiled the potato slices till they were just a tiny bit soft, and then I added them to this greased baking dish and mixed all the ingredients together. The aroma fills our small kitchen, mingling with the scent of the burning wood from the heater. Truffles stirs slightly, her nose twitching at the delicious smell, but she remains curled up in her cosy spot. And topped with grated cheese, this dish promises to be a warm, hearty meal, a family favourite, perfect for this cold weather. And a bit of cracked pepper. And then I'll put this in the barbecue oven for about half an hour to 45 minutes. The next morning dawns just as foggy, the mist hanging thick and heavy in the air. I can barely see past our front yard. The world beyond reduced to a shadowy blur. But there's nothing like listening to the birdsong out here in the mornings. But before we head out on our adventure, I decide to prepare some gramma pie for later tonight using my late grandma's recipe with a few of my own twists. I peel and chop the gramma and I steam it in the pot for about 15 minutes. I do have a more detailed video about how to make gramma pie, which I'll try to include the link for here. And as I go about preparing the gramma pie, I think of all the support we've received from our viewers. Whether you've been with us from the start or just joined us on our journey, your encouragement means the world to us. We're learning as we go, making mistakes and growing our wisdom together. So thank you for being part of our story. The sweet earthy smell of the cooking gramma brings back memories of my childhood and my grandma. And once this is finished steaming, I'll let it drain and add some lemon juice, cinnamon, nutmeg and some sugar. The peelings go to the chickens. I've been a bit worried about them lately since spotting a red fox on our trail camera at night. Our chickens are a vital part of our self-sufficiency, providing us with fresh eggs daily. As it started getting cooler, about 4 p.m. in the afternoon, we decided that we would get dressed in some warmer clothing to go out on our adventure and to set out for the mountain. The journey itself is nothing short of mystical. The heavy mist clings to the landscapes, forming familiar surroundings into something otherworldly. The dirt road, slick from the rain, winds through the landscape like a serpent, leading us deeper into the heart of the wilderness. And as we drive, the sound of our engine startles a mob of kangaroos. They bound away, their powerful legs propelling them effortlessly through the underbrush. And the trees stand tall and silent, their branches heavy with moisture, creating a canopy that shelters us from the world above. And all the mist swirls around us, a living, breathing entity that seems to wrap us up in its embrace. And the air is filled with the scent of wet earth and eucalyptus, a heavy mix that speaks of the untamed beauty of this land. I remember studying Ode, Intimations of Immortality, when I was young. At the time, I couldn't fully comprehend or appreciate the depth of Wordsworth's words, the profound connection he felt to the natural world. But now, in this moment, surrounded by the raw beauty of the Australian wilderness, I understand. The mist, the trees, the kangaroos, all of it speaks to something beautiful, something beyond the ordinary. And even Truffles seemed entranced. The road takes us higher, the mist grows thicker until we reach the top of Mount McKenzie. There is a little rain, and the mist remains, a veil that shrouds the mountain in mystery. We step out of the car, the cold air is biting at our cheeks. The world around us is silent, save for the occasional drip of water from the trees. It's as if we've entered a different realm, a place where time stands still and the everyday concerns of life fade away. There is no snow today, only the mist and rain-soaked earth. But the beauty of the moment is undeniable. The mountain, hidden in the fog, seems to whisper secrets from a time long past. I can almost hear Wordsworth's words, the echoes of his ode mingling with the sounds of the wilderness. The things which I have seen, I now can see no more, he wrote, lamenting the loss of his innocent wonder of childhood. But here in this misty mountain, I feel that wonder rekindled. The beauty of nature, the mystery of the mist, the grace of the kangaroos. It's all a reminder that there is still magic in the world if we take time to see it. Back home, the gramma pie has just come hot out of the barbecue, turning out delicious as always. Grandma's recipe never disappoints. But peace is fleeting. We receive a call that Uncle Len has passed away. Devastating news for my mum, her second sibling to leave us. The shock and sadness hits us hard. The next morning brings more frost and thick ice puddles. The landscape is transformed into a winter wonderland, though the beauty is tempered by our sorrow. As the winter continues, we brace ourselves for whatever challenges lie ahead, but we do so with a sense of hope, of confidence in our own ability to overcome. We've faced so much already, and we've come through stronger, more united. We've learned that the beauty of this life lies not in its ease, but in its challenges, in the way it forces us to grow, to adapt, and to find strength we didn't know we had. I remember the first winter we spent here. It was a struggle just to keep warm, but we persevered. We learned how to insulate the shed a bit better, to stockpile firewood, and to grow our own food. Each year we become a little bit more self-sufficient and more confident in our abilities. So I need to get to Brisbane for a CAT scan. The thought of leaving home fills me with dread. The city feels like a world away, a place of noise and chaos compared to our serene, if chilly, homestead. At first my car wouldn't start, and so the panic set in. I tried it again and again, but it just wouldn't start. The battery was dead. And so we didn't have a jump starter pack. This is a hard lesson to learn in the harsh reality of off-grid living. And one of our neighbours, who works about 20 kilometres away, without hesitation offered to come and help. So our neighbour arrived with the jump starter pack, which was a lifeline that I now realise should have been one of the first things that we bought when we decided to go off-grid. So once the car was running, I thanked her profusely for her generosity and willingness to help. The drive is 4 hours long, and the CAT scan is over quickly. The shopping centre where I visited had lost power, and people were wandering outside around everywhere as if it's Armageddon. It's a stark reminder of how fragile our modern conveniences are and how quickly things can fall apart. I always find peace and freedom when I leave the city behind me. And so, day by day, we continue to find joy in the simple pleasures. And this is our home, our life, and we wouldn't have it any other way.